communication has failed.
So you communicate what is being done.
Okay.
You communicate what is happening. But I will tell you this, that the Kenya Kwanza administration, at the diagnosis level, they got right what needs to be done. But at implementation, they are simply behaving like those who came before them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Safina Party, what about it? What's going on? Maliba says that his party is the way to go and overlooks perhaps the presence of these many other parties that have been here long enough. What's happening now that we are very clear that you would like to go it for presidency sometime in 2027, of course, under the lead of Jimmy Wanjigi? What's going on so far?
Safina Party, we say safi sana na Wanjigi.
Nani safi sana?
Safi sana na Wanjigi.
Okay.
That's how to say it, how we put it. Safi sana na Wanjigi. But let me say this. We need to understand what the problem is in this country.
Okay.
And the legacy politicians, the ones Maliba used to work for, they don't just get it. Because they believe that the problem of Kenya is that we have this cake, and Uru's problem was how to distribute it.
Okay.
So William Ruto comes in, he thinks to solve the problem is let me distribute it in this manner. That is what we call demand-side economics. The Kenyan people today are crying for lack of money in their pockets. It's about the economy. As James Carville used to say in the US, it's the economy, stupid. It's the economy. So what options are political parties offering to the people of Kenya that will change our economic trajectory?
Yeah.
And as Safina Party, we say, we are supply-side economists. We believe in supply-side economics.
Okay.
And supply-side economics has three key pillars. Number one, reduce taxes. And Maliba will ask me, how will you reduce taxes that William Ruto keeps increasing? And I promise you, he's going to increase taxes. Even in the next 2 months, you'll see a new finance bill with more taxes, charges, and levies. As we say, you reduce taxes. And you reduce taxes, you are going to boost production. And you'll collect more in the end. I'll give you an example of VAT on fuel. Why are we charging 16% VAT on fuel? If you reduce, the moment you reduce VAT on fuel, now is the planting season. Many farmers can't afford.
Right.
So they end up using oxen. Some who don't are forced to take their kids out of school or to delay going to school to plow the farms. Why? Because the cost of production of plowing is high.
I have heard your party leader speak about the economy and perhaps just telling us how we are in the wards and how tough the situation is. How practical would it be to imagine? I'm
coming to that. That's how I want to understand the three pillars of supply-side economics, the difference between us and legacy politicians. So you reduce taxation on fuel, what will happen is that if you are consuming, for example, 1,000 tons in a village per week, now with reduced fuel costs, probably now there'll be more use of that of fuel in that locality. More people will use the tractors to plow. More people will ride on boda. They'll consume more, and you end up collecting more. So instead of 1,000, maybe that village will now consume 3,000 liters.
Right.
You see an increase. Now let's come to the second pillar. The second pillar is remove government bureaucracy. Reduce government. It's less government.
Okay.
So you identify government where it exists, and you reduce the presence of government. And that ties to the third pillar, which is about...
What do you mean? What do you mean when you say reduce government? Reduce the number?
I want to tie it to the third pillar. Third, because they are correlated.
All right.
The third pillar is about the private sector as the driver of economic growth.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. Today, many Kenyans have ideas, innovative ideas. But the greatest challenge they face is access to capital. Why? You go to the bank is charging an interest rate of 20%.
Yeah.
Why are they charging an interest of 20%? Because their number one customer is government, which is borrowing at 17%. So, Alela, you go to the bank, the bank will tell you, based on an assessment of you, 20-25% interest rate. You have your great idea. You will not be able to access that capital. So your idea dies with you. But if you remove government borrowing from the domestic market,
which they say is a low risk, according to the bank.
The bank prefers to lend to government because a low risk is a sovereign guarantee.
Right.
They'll always be paid. So stop borrowing from the domestic market. Stop borrowing from the banks. What that achieves is automatically the banks are will be left with cash in their hands.